Hello and welcome to another episode of C-Suite, a CEO chat. And yes, I am your host, Shawanna Kennedy. I'm excited because I get the opportunity. Yes, I am a CEO, but I get to have the heart-to-heart and sometimes hard conversations with CEOs all across the globe. This time, I'm excited to bring to you none other than Dr. Marlene Carson. She is an international speaker. She is a three-time author and currently serves as chair on the U.S. Advisory Council for Trafficking. I'm excited, so I don't want to delay. Let's get Dr. Carson in here, y'all.
Hello.
Welcome to the C-Suite, Dr. Carson.
Thank you for having me at the
Yay.
C-Suite.
Yeah, I'm excited because, of course, I was like, no, I needed to get you right in here right away because y'all already know we get a chance to talk while she's in the green room and have other conversations. But I also have had the opportunity to do some work with Dr. Carson. So having this moment, this time, so I want to thank you publicly for pausing from your busy schedule to look. She just got back in town, y'all. And so I was able to get on her schedule so that she can stop by the C-Suite. Now, I know that, with this, it's talking about the good and the bad of what it feels like to be a CEO. And because you've done a number of things, you are an entrepreneur, you work with nonprofits and all across the spectrum. I want to talk about the blend of business and advocacy. And so with that, when you think about your business, I want you to let everybody know a little bit about what you're currently doing, like working on right now in business, because, like I told you, she has an extensive resume. So we could be here for several shows if we're talking to Dr. Carson. But let people know a little bit about what it is that you're currently doing as it relates to you in business as a CEO.
Absolutely. So I am the CEO of Dr. Marlene Carson Ministries. And first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I really do appreciate that. So again, I'm the CEO of Dr. Marlene Carson Ministries. And what that entails is I actually kind of merged some intersection between my story and entrepreneurship, which what I now call social enterprise. And because it is social enterprise, I teach other CEOs or other organizations how to monetize, maintain, and sustain their organizations or their businesses. And we all call that catapult. And so I know how to take, I'm telling you, anyone who's in a business and has a business mindset, I think it's important that you have a business mindset. When you have that business mindset and you kind of feel like you're stuck, I know how to help you with your mindset and your agreement from where you are to where you desire to be. And I absolutely love it. I've worked with women for a long time, since 2008. However, I feel like now I've narrowed it down and I found my niche. I know exactly what I want to do and I know exactly who my client is. And it is just the greatest. I love seeing women thrive.
Being a CEO with all of the stuff you get to do.
Sure.
Let's talk about the challenges for a moment.
I believe one of my greatest challenges has been I see more potential in people than they often see in themselves. And so because of that, it's gotten me into a lot of sticky situations, especially when I want to see you thrive so bad that I will work harder than you. Let me tell you something. I've learned that the hard way. I won't work harder than you or work for yourself. But that has definitely been one of my challenges, is seeing the potential. And I've come to understand that sometimes people may never realize their potential.
How do you handle that, though? Because I love how you said that, because we do get to talk offline, and having that heart for people.
Yeah.
How do you handle that, though? And what did it take you? What was that final thing to say, I'm putting more in than you put in, right? Because I've definitely been there. How do you deal with that? Or what happened when you got to that point and you're like, you know what? I'm realizing right up and through here, I see more in you and I'm putting in way more than you. What did that look like for you?
So for me, it looked like, and I mean, some of my clients are C-suite executives, okay? and they may have started a nonprofit, and I am their coach. So walking them through that process, it looked like really creating the blueprint, the plan, giving that to them, and then identifying where the stagnation comes in. Where sometimes it could be they're just overwhelmed with the vision. I am a big visionary person, but also it can be that they could be dealing with imposter syndrome. And
how do you walk them through that? How do you walk them through that?
Trust me, I've dealt with it enough myself. So I will pause. If that's the case, if they're just walking through the imposter syndrome, I will help identify it and we'll walk through some trauma stuff, because a lot of times imposter syndrome is rooted in some form of trauma. So we can deal with that. However, if that stagnation is just coming from, I'm scared, we can even deal with that. But if it comes from a place of, I'm just not going to do it. I got to let you go as a client. And I've learned to say no, because everybody's not my client.
I love it. That is so real. That is so real. I've had to work with people. You already know the things that I get to do with Kennedy Media, and bringing people to the forefront and having everything that you said. And I love that you were able to call it what it was in some cases, a lot of cases. And sometimes they don't even realize it's connected to a level of trauma. Something that has happened. But then that speaks to you, Dr. Carson, and all of the experience that you have, that you're able to pick it out sooner than later. Yes. You're able to pinpoint it and even make it a part of your model, so that you know that those different steps, and a part of that blueprint is to being able to pinpoint something like that right away. Now, when you think about those are some of the challenges, but when you see that they're beginning to turn the corner, and they've actually grabbed hold, right? Y'all see she's smiling already, because
that's the good part.
That's the juicy part. That's the juicy part. And when you think about being a CEO, and you being a CEO as it relates to being a coach, and then you're like, they get it. Yeah. The light has gone off. Yeah. They get it. They're rocking. We're rolling. Talk about some of the rewards as it relates to you being in that space with some of your clients.
There's nothing like watching a client when they have that moment where the light comes on, because it's motivating, it's inspirational. They are like on their grind, and they are moving at the speed of light. And I'm like, wait. We can't miss steps. We cannot miss steps. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I have to draw them back and say, come on, we can't miss these steps, because it's all part of the process. And one thing about the process, it's just the process. And if you skip steps in the process, you can get to your destination, but it may be a little rocky. And then you're going to realize there's some things I should have done that now you got to go back to do. We don't have time to waste, not in this hour. So I absolutely love watching that light bulb moment. And then for me, it's like, yes. And I just let them go. I just absolutely let them go. And I'm there when they need it. And so I can tell you story after story after story. I think I've told you before how I helped a lady who was in a financial situation. Her husband had just got laid off. They got 5 kids. She's a social worker. She's phenomenal, right? But she don't have an income to take care of 5 kids and a husband until he gain employment. And so I told her, so I'm going to give you a blueprint. And with this blueprint, I guarantee you, if you follow it, you're going to make money. That's not going to be your problem. Well, a year later, she called me and she said, I can't believe it. I made $287,000 in this year with your blueprint. And I'm like, yes. So for me, that's what I want to see. I want to see success. I'm very goal oriented, and I just want to see your success. So I want to see men and women thrive, period.
Don't you hear the passion? People, don't y'all hear the passion? Y'all need to be putting some stuff in the comments right now. Be like, passion, power. That's right. Because we do. And it's important to have coaches. It's important to have mentors. It's important to be a part of groups, and you pay attention to what you pay into.
Come on.
Did I say that?
You can say that for the people in the back.
Yeah, you do. You pay attention to what you pay into, because you have to be willing to invest. And that's where I noticed that with some folk, not everybody, not y'all that's watching, because y'all get it. You have to be okay to invest in anything that you want to do. And I've heard it all too often. it's the cost of doing business. This is C-suite. I thought we are in the C-suite.
Yes.
It's the cost of doing business, and sometimes you're gonna pay either way. How about that? Ha ha ha.
You're gonna pay either way.
You're going to pay either way, whether you want to pay on the front end or on the back end.
You know something I realized, and I'm actually designing a T-shirt that says this now: profits are better than wages.
Yeah,
profits are better than wages.
Juicy.
So it's for me. I would rather work hard for myself and gain the profit rather than to go to your job to make some wages.
Yeah, right. While you're right there, stay right there for me and go ahead and talk about, when you talk about the profit and wages, right? Talk about what even got you started on this road to entrepreneurship. Yeah, I want to hear that. Talk about that.
So, you know, I'm a survivor of domestic minor sex trafficking. I was kidnapped as a kid. I was 15 years old. I come from a 2-parent household. I'm the youngest of 5 siblings. I was raised in the church, and it still happened. And so I learned a lot while I was being exploited. And so when I came out of the life, I'm back at home and I'm safe, but I need a job. I have children. I need a job. And so this person took me to one of his friends that was the HR director. And this man sits me down. Now, I know I look good, but I'm older. Okay. And so he sits me down. He's typing on a typewriter. And he says, tell me what you did while you were being trafficked. And I thought he was being a pervert, right? So I'm like, we sold sex. And he said, no, tell me what your day-to-day looked like. So as I began to explain to him what my day-to-day looked like, he's typing. He takes the paper out and he hands it to me. He says, now go get a job. And I'm like, what is this? He said, it's your resume. Well, it had on there customer service, sales and marketing, PR, inventory control. I said, I didn't do none of this stuff. He said, yes, you did. That's exactly the things that you did while you were being exploited. So I said, well, how do I explain this to anybody? He said, Marlene, it's called transferable skills. And so I took the skills from a horrible situation and transferred them to not only a good situation for me and my family, but now it impacts the lives of people all over the globe. And so what I did was, when we started our first housing program, we merged the housing program with entrepreneurship, which we call social enterprise. I started my first restaurant, and it was so awesome. The restaurant was called Bugettos. And so one day a food critic came into our restaurant. Now, it was very challenging to manage a restaurant as a CEO, but I did it. And so this guy came in and he was a food critic. And I just thought, oh my God, we're going to get shut down for sure now, right? However, about 4 or 5 days later, my publicist gets a call from Oprah's, her publicist. I think it was some guy that worked for Oprah. And they asked if I wanted to be on the show, because what I didn't know at that time was our restaurant was in the top 500 soul food restaurants in America. We were actually number 45. Okay. And so I was like, oh my God. Now, mind you, all of the women that worked in this restaurant were survivors of trafficking. So we turned these lives around, gave them a job, taught them business. The manager of the restaurant went on to do her own business. And I realized then, this is something I want to do. I just don't want to help victims or survivors. I want to help them do better in their life. I want to help them with social enterprise or their own business. And I am very passionate about it. And I absolutely love watching people thrive. So that's how it all started.
Whoa, did y'all hear that? Your story, y'all already know. We already know. She's gonna have to be back, right? There's so many layers. There's so many layers, because you are Dr. Marlene Carson, where you get to work with the nonprofits, and we know you touched a little bit about that. But before we even get to that, I mentioned the fact that you are a not one, not two, but a 3-time award-winning author, and I'm excited, guys, because her latest book is called Pimp. And who has their copy?
Yay!
I have my copy. I'm so excited. So I have to pause to just talk for a moment when I think about transferable skills. When I heard you talk about your coach and all of those things, what led you down the road to then? Because the story itself and the things that happen. So my heart, you already know how I feel about that. My heart goes out and I pray for the people who are still even currently in that situation as we
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's definitely an injustice and more needs to be done. So if you know someone that potentially could be in that, we'll make sure that you have her contact information as well as the 1-800 number so that you can help somebody who may need some help.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about this book. I want to talk about this latest book, Pimp. Let's talk about that. Now, we're saying you were a CEO and now and an author, and you put pen to paper to talk about that. How does that correlate, or how do you work that into the business structure when we talk about the blending of the advocacy, all of the blending of how you marry and merge your worlds?
You know, I just come to realize that every single thing I do has to be monetized. And I don't know if it came from the life. I don't know if it just came from my upbringing, but we have to monetize it. And so because I'm a giver and I do a lot for community, I do a lot for survivors everywhere. And so we have to have resources to do that. And unfortunately, we have not been a government funded organization ever. And we've been an organization since 2008, but we've never been government funded some people may think we have, but we've never been government funded. And so we fund ourselves. And even one of the things that I teach nonprofits or even ministries or those who want to start a business, stop thinking that you can go get a 501c3 and you're going to get all this grant money. Sweetie, it don't happen. Okay. Take it from me. It does not happen that way. And so, and even should you get funded from someone, it's going to take about 1 to 3 years, unless it's a county or the city and they give you a little money. But if you want some real money, it's going to take 1 to 3 years to do that. And the reason being is because we want to see how much are you willing to invest in yourself. Why should government invest in your organization and you haven't invested in yourself? So we want to see 3 years of 990s, which is like a tax return for nonprofits. And so you need to know, how do I sustain for 3 years? So I created a program. Of course I did. I created a program called How to Create Sustainable Profit for Your Nonprofit.
Wow.
Well, that started my first nonprofit. We made almost $1 million in the first year. And I didn't even know what I was doing. Okay. Trust me, I didn't know what I was doing. I just thought that this was a good idea. I did the idea. How about some people that you even know, see Nicole, actually wrote a paper on the progress that I had done because I thought everyone knew to do it. Well, I found some niches and I filled some gaps and some pain points that I learned from the life, and it just worked. So every business like that. So we publish books. I have my own publishing company. We don't want rights to your books. We'll show you how to do it. You'll pay us to do it, but we give you 100% rights. You don't pay us a residual. We don't want none of that. No, we do this to help you. So I love what I do.
I love it. Did you hear that? So now she's not only a CEO, she's a serialpreneur, right? She's totally. She's a founder, she's a president, and she's a CEO. Yes. It's all of these things. And I love that you were real. And a lot of people don't like to call it that, but because of what I get to do, I'm all about being seen, being heard, being known, and creating the visibility. And I'm all about, even more so, even the video visibility, because if people don't know you, they don't know you. Right. And when you were able to just say that, I was over here on the inside, jumping up and down, a little dancing emoji, when you went so far as to talk about and say that you knew that it had to be monetized. I think that is amazing, because there's far too many people that they're ashamed to say that, right? Even if they believe it's something that you can make money off of it, because it takes money to do
anything. Money answers all things, right?
And that's where you can even speak to when it talks about people think that money is evil. It's not. The money is not evil.
The money is not evil.
Yeah.
And so I actually, when I came out of the life and I was in my healing process, I too used to think money was evil, because they actually sold me for $300 to $500 an hour.
My.
And so I'll be 62 years old this year. So we're talking years ago. That was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money today. And so I thought money was evil. But what I learned is that the love of money is evil, and that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Okay. Yeah. And so money is not evil. And once you really release that guilt of having money,
yes.
Because some people feel guilty for having, come on now.
Yes.
Come on. But let me tell you something. I've been through all that, know the trauma of it, can walk you through it to set you free from it and let you live your life. Not only let you live your life, but also to help someone else live theirs.
Y'all, now I know you putting some stuff in the comments. I know you be like, we love Dr. Carson, right? Be like, yes, say it again. Be like, put an amen in the comments. Put an amen in the comments right now. Put an amen in the comments, because you preaching over here with that. If I should try to say that's what's going on. So see, there are CEOs who are preachers too. I said, hey, I'm just saying. I'm excited that you have paused to come over and talk to us, because your story is so robust. Your story is so rich, and being able to watch you navigate and teach, train, lead.
Yeah.
It's so many layers to the woman that you are, the woman of God that you are, and watching you bloom. So you weren't even ashamed to even say at what season in life that you're in. Mm-hmm. And because you have now allowed all of those things, and to be what you said it earlier, be transferable skills. Yeah. It's like now where no matter at what level, so if you didn't hear it, I'm going to help you so you can catch it. It don't matter where you are. So mm-hmm. from the front door to the back door is something in between that Dr. Marlene Carson that can help you do to bring your story to life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I need to make sure that y'all hearing it. So yeah, not a shameless plug. So make sure she's Dr. Marlene Carson everywhere. Everywhere.
You know what I like to say, Shawanna, from the C-suites to the streets.
Boom.
But that's who I help, from the C. And you know what's really interesting? Sometimes when I have mastermind groups, you don't know who's who.
And that's the beauty.
You don't know who's who. Right. But you don't know if they're from the C-suite or the street.
And you know what? That's the beauty of it. And it needs to be set up that way, because everybody has a story.
Yes.
They may not have that story, but they have a story. If you lived any time on this earth and you managed to, what they say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or work through all of the dirt, right? Because even the best trees had to go through some dirt, right? Some of the strongest roots are sitting down in some dirt. Mm-hmm. If you've said, and I want to call myself and put that on, whether you're a chief operating officer, you're a chief empowerment officer, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. You're a chief elevator, mm-hmm. you're the chief of something, and let's talk about it. You need to start with being the CEO of your life. Yes. We are not above all. Everybody know, anybody that know me, I'm a woman of faith, and is never above my creator, my God.
Right.
However, mm-hmm. he has given us power and authority to take ownership of mm-hmm. some things and to have dominion over things in the earth.
Yes.
And so with that, with boldness, you pause and say, yes, I believe I'm in that position, because we understand. I'm gonna let Dr. Carson talk about it. Everybody is not intended to be a CEO.
No. Somebody got to work. So I mean, somebody has to serve, and there are people that absolutely love serving. Just as I am passionate about women's empowerment and empowering people to get to their next, there are some people that love administration. Yes. And it takes all of us. I have a content creator. She loves creating content. That's not my forte, but she loves it. And it takes all of us. And when we all work together, we'll achieve a common goal, and everybody's satisfied. One of my sayings with my team is everybody eats. Everybody eats. Okay. So I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, no, I'm just, I told you. Now y'all already know. I know Dr. Carson outside of the C-suite. And so she is correct. She is definitely a woman of her word. And I have witnessed it for myself. Yeah. I am a witness, and I have a testimony to it. So I'm not ashamed to say that.
Yeah.
And that's how it's supposed to be, though.
Yes.
That is really how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. That is,
when I run into a lot of CEOs that are in transition, that in their position, they're either getting ready to retire, they're either getting ready to, some of them unfortunately have been laid off. There was one particular CEO of a major company that was getting laid off, nice severance package, the whole 9 yards, but she fell into a deep depression. And she was depressed because she felt like she couldn't do her job anymore. Her job had become her identity. And so after walking her through that process, one of the greatest things, I said, baby, your job just starting. Because do you know how many gifts that you have on the inside of you that other people need? Now she has a 7-figure coaching business. You know what I'm saying? But she thought it was over. It was only the beginning. Now she works when she want to work. You know what I'm saying? And now she has the freedom and the liberty to travel and to invest in people. And she's starting a nonprofit. So she has the ability to give back as she sees fit. She's not in the box of corporate America anymore. And I'm telling you, it's just the best feeling to be able to help people like that.
I love it. I love it. Now, y'all already know, because the time be moving, the time be far spent. So what I'm going to do, we're actually going to have a part 2 to this episode, but right, so that I can make sure y'all just get a little bit of taste of Dr. Carson. So I need you to say something for part 2, Dr. Carson.
All right.
Allow you to talk for 1 juicy minute and just inspire somebody, because we're going to do a part 2. So let me move myself out the way so that people can hear from you.
If you feel stuck in the position that you're in, either as a CEO or someone that goes to work every single day, let me come and catapult you into your destiny. What does that mean, catapult? You know, catapult takes you from the familiar, the ordinary, to the extraordinary. And that's what I want to do in your life. Let me help you catapult into your destiny.
Did y'all hear the CEO today? Did y'all hear the CEO today? So make sure you are stay tuning for the very next time that we are back, because we're going to do a part 2. So Dr. Carson, I will see you in 1 moment. Don't you go away, because we're about to continue this. We're about to continue this. Yeah, I am super excited. I'm super excited. So thank you guys again. You already know, if you are a budding entrepreneur or CEO or someone even thinking about it, I want you to hold fast to your dream. I want you to continue to get the education. I want you to make sure that you're okay to lean in to that mentor, right? And even if it's a virtual mentor, even if there's somebody, because you have to be around and surround yourself. Part of that key too is, yes, knowing that you're ready, but being around people, leaning in and listening in to see who's giving you value. And one of those people that I'm grateful to say is someone like Dr. Marlene Carson. There are people that are ready and willing and able to help you get to be where you need to be. I want to thank you guys again for joining me for this episode of C-Suite to CEO Chat, because we get to talk about, if you didn't see it, the good, the bad, and the sometimes ugly. And in this second part with Dr. Marlene Carson, we're going to even dive in deep. You heard her give you a little bit of piece about the trafficking part of her life and why. And we're going to talk more about that advisory portion. Remember, she is currently serving as a chair for the U.S. as the advisory council on that council for trafficking. And so we're going to get into that part. So make sure you are checking us out for this next episode, for the next time that we're back on C-Suite, a CEO Chat. And you already know who I am. I'm Shawanna Kennedy, your host. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms, and I can't wait to see you next time in the C-Suite. This episode is brought to you by Kennedy Media, your ultimate partner in content creation, video recording, and digital marketing. Be seen, be heard, and increase visibility in your business. Contact us today at KennedyMediaLLC.com, KennedyMediaLLC.com, and unlock your brand's full potential.